Hare Krishna, buongiorno, buenos dias, Hare Krishna. Welcome to London, West London, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, West London chapter, morning program, Sunday morning, buongiorno. We are an international group here, from here and there, and we have our main weekend program on a Saturday, so we had a wonderful program yesterday. It was a festival day because it was Ramananda Prabhu, our dear Pujariji's, one of our dear Pujariji's birthday. And Ishanugiriji and Devashish Prabhu were able to come from East London, and it felt a little bit more... for the last few weeks, it's just been the residents, pretty much the residents of West London Temple here. So we had friends and guests come in. So it's a very nice program yesterday. And we met online with Madhusudan Maharaj, and we met online with Srila Janardhan Maharaj, and then the kids met online with Bhakti Lalita, Devidasi. So we had a full day yesterday, and Ch.Ch, Didi and Lavanya were out collecting, and so some more semblance of normality, if things are ever normal in the material world, I don't know. But anyway, it was a wonderful day yesterday and another wonderful day today. We're continuing with our reading of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, and we are in the Adi Lila. Thank you, Prabhuji. We're in the Adi Lila, 4th chapter, slowly working our way through this amazing and inconceivable chapter. It's the internal reasons for Mahaprabhu's appearance. So, inevitably, it is deep. Inevitably, it must be deep and inconceivably beautiful. And so we're reading this and slowly coming through the chapter. So far, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has previously, he told us the external reasons for the Lord's appearance, and the first reason was, can we remember, the external reasons? No, that's what you'd think. That's what you would think. That's an internal reason. Now I'm talking about the external reasons.
Enjoy his own beauty?
No, this is an internal reason. That's the chapter we're on now. Now I'm just reflecting on the previous chapter, the external reasons. And Ananda Swarupini...
The holy name?
Yes, that's what Ananda Swarupini said, and that is one of the reasons, but it's not the first reason. Krishna Lalana did it. Yes! What? The number one reason, because Sri Advaita Acharya called for him. Yes, with tulsi and water. And Krishna said, when my devotee offers me with love a tulsi leaf and a palm full of water, I cannot repay the debt. I am in debt to that devotee. I have to give myself to that devotee. It's very sweet. That was the first reason of the external reasons. Then came the Harinam Sankirtan. But first it was the love of his devotee. Very beautiful. It's still wonderful to remember. And then the internal reasons which you were mentioning. And Krishnadas Kaviraj said 3 of those reasons are the most important, and we've heard 2 of those, and now we're in the process of hearing the 3rd. And the first one was to taste or to experience the love of Srimati Radharani. What is it that she's been? And the second was to see his own beauty, because he gets bewildered by that, to appreciate his own beauty. So these inconceivable topics we're reading on in the morning. So we've started on the third reason now, and we're in another land of inconceivable wonder. And it says here, there is another wonderful feature of the emotion of the gopis. Its power is beyond the comprehension of the intelligence. When the gopis see Lord Krishna, they derive unbounded bliss, although they have no desire for such pleasure. The gopis taste the pleasure 10 million times greater than the pleasure Lord Krishna derives from seeing them. The gopis have no inclination for their own enjoyment, and yet their joy increases. That is indeed a contradiction. These are the kind of shlokas we've been reading. Hare Krishna. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So he's saying how contradictory this is. The gopis are completely surrendered. They're not looking for anything for themselves. And yet, in this unfathomable way, not only are they experiencing this joy, but it's actually more than Krishna is experiencing, who is Rasa Raj, the consumer of rasa. So, we're going to start on text 189 today. And this is from the pen of Krishnadas Kaviraj, speaking himself. He's not quoting anyway. He says, Evirodhera ekkamatra deki samadhana gopikara sukha Krishna shuke pariyavashana, the conclusion. For this contradiction that we just discussed, that they're receiving pleasure but they're not looking for it. For this contradiction, I see only one solution. The joy of the gopis lies in the joy of their beloved Krishna. Gopika darshana Krishnera bhare prafulata se madhurya bhareyara nahika samata. When Lord Krishna sees the gopis, his joy increases, and his unparalleled sweetness increases also. So his joy increases, and he becomes even more sweet. Amara darshana Krishna paila eta shuka, e shuka gopira prafula angamukha. The gopis think Krishna has obtained so much pleasure by seeing me. That thought increases the fullness and beauty of their faces and bodies. Gopish Shobha Deki Krishna Shobha Bhadayata Krishna Shobha Deki Gopira Shobha Bhara Tata. The beauty of Lord Krishna increases at the sight of the beauty of the gopis, and the more the gopis see Lord Krishna's beauty, the more their beauty increases. And we're reminded of that verse of the Prema Dharma Deva Stotram towards the last, like in the 50s, where Guru Maharaj says that Mahaprabhu's like this dynamo, and his I can't remember exactly how he expresses it, Krishna Jai, this verse, that and how is it in English? That his chanting is producing ecstasy that's manifested as dancing, and the dancing produces the chanting, and it's like a dynamic dynamo, Mahaprabhu. And we've heard from Guru Maharaj, we've heard from Goswami Maharaj that the Sankirtan of Mahaprabhu is the Rasa Leela in distribution mode. So it's appropriate that kind of... You found it, did he? Yeah, if you can read that, yeah.
His ecstasy expresses
Just read the whole thing.
the whole...
Yeah.
This is the all-conquering illusion, the highest conception of the ultimate reality to be the highest form of Ananda, ecstasy. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna, ecstasy himself, tasting his own sweetness and dancing in ecstatic joy. His own holy name is the cause of his ecstasy, expressed as dancing, and the holy name is the effect of his ecstasy, expressed as chanting. The cause is the effect. The dynamo is creating ecstatic energy which makes him dance, and his chanting distributes that ecstasy to others. For my basis,
Jai. What a verse of the infinite supreme reality. And what number is it?
66.
66? Oh, it wasn't in the 50s. 66, so it's almost at the end. So we just read, if you didn't hear, we just read the 66th verse of the Prema Dharma Deva Stotram, which is another inconceivably wonderful verse. Anyway, we're not going off the track, but anyway, this sort of same thing is happening here. The beauty of Lord Krishna increases at the sight of the beauty of the gopis, and the more the gopis see Lord Krishna's beauty, the more their beauty increases, and so on, in an ever-increasing ocean of ecstatic joy. And then Kaviraj Goswami continues, E mata paraspara pare huda hudi, paraspara bhade kaya mukha nahi mudi. Jostling, huda hudi is jostling. In this way, a competition takes place between them, in which no one acknowledges defeat. So no one's giving up. Krishna's more beautiful, they become more beautiful, and they're like, it doesn't finish. Okay. Kintu Krishnera sukha haya gopi rupa gune, tare sukhe sukha vriddhi haya gopi gane. Krishna, however, derives pleasure from the beauty and the good qualities of the gopis. And when the gopis see his pleasure, the joy of the gopis increases. Okay, so that's the difference. Krishna, however, derives pleasure from the beauty and good qualities of the gopis. But the gopis see his pleasure, and that makes their joy increase. Ataiva sei sukha Krishna sukha poshe, ehetu gopi prema nahi kama doshe. Therefore we find that the joy of the gopis nourishes the joy of Lord Krishna. For that reason, the fault of lust is not present in their love. Because it's not something separate from him, it's increasing Krishna's joy. Okay, then we've got a shloka from, a different one of, it's the Stavama, another shloka from Rupa Goswami. Upetya pati sundari tatibi abhiyachitam smritan kura karambitana tadapanga bangishatai stana stavaka sancharam nayana chancharikan chalam vraje vijayinam bhaje vipinade shata keshavam. I worship Lord Kesava, coming back from the forest of Vraja. He is worshipped by the gopis, who mount the roofs of their palaces and meet him on the path, with 100 manners of dancing glances and gentle smiles. The corners of his eyes wander like large black bees around the gopis' breasts. Anna ekka gopi prema svabhavikachina, ye prakari haya prema kama gandhahina. There is another natural symptom of the gopis' love that shows it to be without a trace of lust. Gopi prema karya Krishna madhuryera pushti, madhurya bhadaya prema hanna mahatushti. The love of the gopis nourishes the sweetness of Lord Krishna. That sweetness, in turn, increases their love, for they are greatly satisfied. Priti Vishayanande Tad Ashrayananda Taha Nahi Nija Sukha Vanchara Sambandha. The happiness of the abode of love is in the happiness of the object of that love. The happiness of the abode of love is in the happiness of the object of that love. This is not a relationship of desire for personal gratification. Okay? Nirupadi prema yaha tana e riti priti vishaya shuka ashrayara priti nija premananda Krishna sevananda vare seyanandera prati bhaktera haya maha krodhe. Whenever there is unselfish love, that is its style. The reservoir of love derives pleasure when the lovable object is pleased. When the pleasure of love interferes with the service of Lord Krishna, the devotee becomes angry toward such ecstasy. It's getting in the way of their service. When the pleasure of love interferes with the service of Lord Krishna, the devotee becomes angry towards such ecstasy. And then another verse from Rupa Goswami, this time from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Angastambarambam utungayantam premanandam dharuko navyanandat kamsarate vijjana yena shakshadakshodi anantarayo vyadai. Sri Dharuka did not relish his ecstatic feelings of love, for they caused his limbs to become stunned and thus obstructed his service of fanning Krishna. So Sri Dharuka is the Lord's chariot driver, apparently. Sri Dharuka. And he didn't like it when he was getting too much ecstasy because he couldn't fan the Lord properly. It made his limbs stunned and obstructed his service. From the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And then another verse from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Govinda Prakshanakshepi Bashpa Pura Vivashinam Uchayanindad Anandam Aravinda Vilochana. The lotus-eyed Radharani powerfully condemned the ecstatic love that caused a flow of tears that hindered her sight of Govinda. Hare Krishna from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Ara Shuddha Bhakta Krishna Prema Seva Vine Swasukata Salokyadi Nakare Grahane. Furthermore, pure devotees never forsake the loving service of Lord Krishna to aspire for their own personal pleasure through the 5 kinds of liberation. Madgana Shuti Matrena Mai Sava Guhashaye Manogati Avichino Yata Gangam Bashum Buddha. Yata Gangam Basham Buddha. Just as the celestial waters of the Ganga flow unobstructed into the ocean, so when my devotees simply hear of me, their minds come to me, who resides in the hearts of all. That's like that shloka of Kunti Devi. Tvaime nanya vishaya. Tvaime nanya vishaya. Oh. Anyway, Tvaime nanya vishaya. I'm supposed to know that one. Anyway, that beautiful shloka where it says, let my heart, as the Ganga goes to the sea, let my heart come to you without being obstructed. those prayers of Kunti Devi. Just as the celestial waters of the Ganga flow unobstructed into the ocean, so when my devotees simply hear of me, their minds come to me, who reside in the hearts of all. Lakshanam bhuti yogasya nigunasya udaritam ahaitukya vavahita ya bhakti purushottame. These are the characteristics of transcendental loving service to Purushottam, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is causeless and it cannot be obstructed in any way. Hare Krishna. Shalokya Sharishti Sarupya Samipyakatvam Upyata Dyamanam Nagrinanti Vina Matsevanam Jana. My devotees do not accept Shalokya, Sarishti, Sarupya, Samipya, or oneness with me, even if I offer these liberations in preference to serving me. Matsevaya pratitam te shalokyadi chatushtayam nechanti sevaya puna kutonyat kala viplutam. My devotees, having fulfilled their desires by serving me, do not accept the 4 kinds of salvation that are easily earned by such service. Why then should they accept any pleasures that are lost in the course of time? Jai. And then Srila Prabhupada says, this verse is from Srimad Bhagavatam, was spoken by the Lord in connection with the characteristics of Maharaj Ambarish. It's in the 9th canto. Merging into the existence of the Absolute is as temporary as living in the celestial kingdom. Both of them are controlled by time. Neither position is permanent. So Kaviraj Goswami, Srila Prabhupada, talking about all the different types of liberation or freedom from the negative side that can be attained, but how they're all within that realm of time and coming and going and ultimately unsatisfying to the soul who is built for loving relationship and service of the Golden Lord or the Kama Gandha Hina Svabhavika Gopi Prema Nirmala Ujvala Shuddha Yena Dagda Hema. The natural love of the gopis is devoid of any trace of lust. It is faultless, bright, and pure like molten gold. Krishnara Sahaya Guru Bandhava Prayashi Gopika Hayena Priya Shishya Shaki Dasi. The gopis are the helpers, teachers, friends, wives, dear disciples, confidants, and serving maids of Lord Krishna. Then a verse from the Gopi Premamrita. Sahaya Guruva Shishya Bujishya Bandhava Striyaha Satyam Vadamite Pata Gopya Kim Me Bhavantina. O Pata, I speak to you the truth. The gopis are my helpers, teachers, disciples, servants, friends, and consorts. I do not know what they are not to me. They are everything to me. I don't know what they are not. Helpers, teachers, disciples, servants, friends, consorts, everything. Krishna. Gopika Janena Krishnera Manara Vanchita Prema Seva Paripati Ishta Samihita. The gopis know Krishna's desires, and they know how to render perfect, loving service for his enjoyment. They perform their service expertly for the satisfaction of their beloved, the best servitor. And then again, another verse from the Adi Purana spoken by Krishna to Arjuna. Man mahatmyam matsarparyam matstradham man manogatam jananti gopika pata nanya jananti tatvataha. O Pata, the gopis know my greatness, my loving service, respect for me, and my mentality. Others cannot really know these. Se gopi gana madhya uttama radhika rupe gune shaubhagye prema savadika. Among the gopis, Srimati Radhika is the foremost. She surpasses all in beauty, in good qualities, in good fortune, and above all, in love. Yata Radha Priya Vishnos Tasya Kundam Priyam Tata Savagopishu Saivakya Vishnu Atyanta Vallabha. This is from the Padma Purana. Just as Radha is dear to Lord Krishna, so her bathing place, Radha Kunda, is dear to him. She alone is his most beloved of all the gopis. Then from the Adi Purana, Trailokye Prithvi Danya Yatra Vrindavanam Puri Tatrapi Gopika Pata Yatra Radha Bidamama. O Pata, in all the three planetary systems, this earth is especially fortunate. For on this earth, in the town of Vrindavan, is the town of Vrindavan. And there the gopis are especially glorious, because among them is my Srimati Radharani. Radha saha krida rasa vridira karana arashaba gopi guna rasopakarana. All the other gopis help increase the joy of Krishna's pastimes with Radharani. The gopis act as the instruments of their mutual enjoyment. Krishnara Valabharada Krishna Pranadhana Taha Vino Shukahetu Nahi Gopigana. Radha is the beloved consort of Krishna, and she is the wealth of his life. Without her, the gopis cannot give him pleasure. Kamsari api sangsare vashana bari shinkalam radhamadaya hridaya Tatyaja Vraja Sundari, from the Gita Govinda of Jayadev Goswami. Lord Krishna, the enemy of Kamsa, left aside the other gopis during the rasa dance and took Srimati Radharani to his heart, for she is the helper of the Lord in realizing the essence of his desires. Se Radhara Bhava Lana Chaitanya Avatara Yuga Dharma Nama Prema Kaila Parachara. Lord Chaitanya appeared with the sentiment of Radha. He preached the Dharma of this age, the chanting of the holy name and pure love of God. Se bhava nija vancha karila purana, avatarera e vancha mula karana. In the mood of Srimati Radharani, he also fulfilled his own desires. This is the principal reason for his appearance. Good. This is the principal reason. This is the serving mood of Radharani, to experience that. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Goshai Vrajendra Kumara Rasa Maya Murti Krishna Shakshat Shringara. Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya is Krishna Vrajendra Kumar, the embodiment of rasas. He is Shringara Rasa, amorous love personified. Se rasa aspadite kaila avatara, anushange kaila sabha rasera prachara. He made his appearance to taste that conjugal mellow, and incidentally to broadcast all the rasas. And then another verse from Gita Govinda. Long one. Vishvesham anuranjanena janayan anandam indivara shreni shamala komalai upanayan angaya nangotsavam swachandam rajasundaribi abhita pratyanga malingita shringara shakimurti mamiva madhu mugda harikrirati. Oh, my friends, just see how Sri Krishna is enjoying the season of spring, with the gopis embracing each of his limbs. He is like amorous love personified. With his transcendental pastimes, he enlivens all the gopis and the entire creation. With his soft, bluish-black arms and legs, which resemble blue lotus flowers, he has created a festival for Cupid. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Gosai Rasera Sadhana Ashesha Vishesha Kaila Rasa Asvadana. Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya is the abode of rasa. He himself tasted the sweetness of rasa in endless ways. Sedvari Prabhataila Kali Yuga Dharma Chaitanyera Dase Jani E Sabha Manama. Thus he initiated the Dharma for the age of Kali. The devotees of Lord Chaitanya know all these truths. Okay. Ara Yata Chaitanya Krishnera Bhakta Gana Bhakti Bhave Shiradhari Shabara Charana. He says Advaita Acharya Nityananda Shivas Pandit Gadadha Svarup Damodar Murari Gupta Haridas and all the other devotees of Sri Krishna Chaitanya, bowing down with devotion, I hold their lotus feet on my head. Prabhupada says the author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita teaches us that we must offer our respectful obeisances to all such pure confidential devotees of Lord Chaitanya if we indeed want to know him in truth. And every morning we sing, what song am I thinking of? Bhajare, Bhajare, Ama, Mana. And who was it was saying? I think Devashish was saying yesterday, perhaps when we were just sitting talking at the table, how we're following the Saraswati Thakur. We have so many songs, and he's chosen some few that we sing more regularly than others, and that's one of them. Just to chant those names of all the friends and family and the Parshad devotees, and in our arti songs, we're singing many of these names of the devotees' names. Okay, so we're going to stop there because then, we carry on. And as the following verse says, all these conclusions are unfit to disclose in public. But if they are not disclosed, no one will understand them. So we're there's different parts of the Chaitanya Charitamrita which are, that we read when we're doing the pranayama, when we're reading through, then we read them and then we go on. Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Deva Swami Maharaj ki jai, Srila Bhakti Rakak Srila Deva Swami Maharaj ki jai, and Srila Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki jai, and all the Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat Acharya Vinda ki jai, and Srila Bhakti Nirmala Acharya Maharaj ki jai. Yesterday we had the darshan of Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardhan Maharaj ki jai, and was Ashram Maharaj there on that call as well? I think I might have had the darshan of Srila Bhakti Kusham Ashram Maharaj ki jai. I saw his picture somewhere. I think he was on that call. Ashram Maharaj ki jai, Srila, and then Bhakti Vijay Trivikram Maharaj ki jai, and Srila Bhakti Sudhir Swami Maharaj ki jai, Srila Bhakti Bimala Vadut Maharaj ki jai, and our own Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudana Maharaj ki jai, and Sripad Bhakti Chaitanya Bharati Maharaj ki jai, and all the sannyasi vrinda ki jai, because there's many now, I don't even know all the names of our sannyasis. Oh, we also saw Puri Maharaj yesterday, Sripad Bhakti Banda Puri Maharaj. Yes, we'll get lost if we go into all the sannyasis, because there's ones I don't even know. There's Dandi Maharaj, and Rishikesh Maharaj, and Mahavir Maharaj, Avadut Maharaj. Yes, so anyway, all the sannyasi vrinda ki jai. And all the devotees ki jai. Yes, sometimes it's nice to say names, but if you start saying names, then you forget someone, and that's not so good. So okay, so we'll finish there for today because we have some other duty. So, Jai Gurudev. You want to sing, Prabhu?
Hariharaya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Hariharaya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Gopala Govinda Ram Madhusudana.
Gopala Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana.
Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohana.
Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohana.
Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra.
Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Radharani Shiva Sati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha.
Jaya Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha.
Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Raghunatha.
Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Rasa Raghunatha.
Vichai Gosai Kori Charana Vandana.
Vichai Gosai Kori Charana Vandana.
Yaha Hoi Devi Nana Sarisa Purana.
Yaha Devi Nana Sarisa Purana.
Vichai Gosai Jaga Murita Radhasa.
Vichai Gosai Amrita Dasa.
Dasa Para Para Vedamura Panchagrasa.
Savara Parare Mura Panchagrasa.
Yandela Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanivasa.
Nirvana Sevi Bhakta Sanivasa.
Yadame Yadame Mora Hriya Vilasa. Jai Gosai Jave Vaje Koilavasa. Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Govinda Prakasa. Guru Vaisnava Pada Padma Koriyasa Harinama Sankirtana Korina Rotamodasa Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Jaya Sabadika Sisi Guru Goranga Radha Govinda Yuki Jai Jai Sila Bhakti Nimalacharya Maharaki Jai Jai Sila Bhakti Sundar Govinda de Gosai Maharaki Jai Jai Sila Bhakti Vakaksida de Gosai Maharaki Jai Jai Sila Bhakti Sinta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Tulasi Devi Vrinda Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Jai Chaya Vrinda Ki Jai Jai All World Devotees Ki Jai Gom Premanande Haribo